Hello, happy Sunday. It is August 14th, and if you're watching this on YouTube, timestamps are in the description for the collective readings and everything else. So you're welcome to hang out and watch the intro if you want, but I'm just going to be hanging out with everyone here before we start the collective readings. So, hello, how's it going? Good morning. Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Everyone who's showing up here. Good morning, Sarah J. How are you doing? Neens, hello. Hey, how are you doing? Good morning. Leo Diaz, I saw you jump in. How are you doing? Hello. Hey, love you too. How you doing? How's everybody doing this morning? We have literally just started, so I'm just saying hello. Hey, Tina. Tawny, good morning. Good to see ya. Stacy, hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing today? Good to see you too. Awesome. Peta Del Toro, hey, how's it going, Peta? Excuse me. It's a cool name, by the way. Oh, I like the sunflower picture. That's synchronistic for me. I like that. So we are literally going to do, I guess I'm starting now. We are literally going to do what we've been doing just the past few weeks, where I just do a collective reading for everyone. Then we'll jump into the readings by Zodiac sign element, I suppose. And we'll probably do a full channel mode, just my spirit guide speaking directly through me at the end as well. And to make our lives easier, I have little signs that let me know, oh no, it's really small. Maybe I have to move a little bit closer to the wall here. Also, I'm going to, usually there's a way to make sure this is not mirrored. Here we go. So this way, when I post this here, you can see what we're on. That's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm halfway through the book that you recommended by Lee Harris. Thank you. Some parts really resonate. I'm glad to hear it. Was that Energy Speaks, I'm guessing? I guess that's his only book out right now. Yeah, that's a good one. Morning, Andy Pandy Pie. All right, they want me to just start the collective reading, so I have my sign here for collective readings. That's both for you and for me. When I'm just editing this and putting timestamps for YouTube, but I'll try not to get in the way of that. We'll see how it goes. It's fine. I thought that would be bigger. I'll prepare next time more. So we're going to jump into the channel messages I have here just for everybody, for the collective that's watching this. It's for you when you see it. So if you're watching this on YouTube sometime in the future after I've facilitated this live, then it's for you when you see it. If you're here now, of course it is for you now. So they want me to jump right in. Fully for that is good. Anywhere they want me to start here for starters. They are showing me mushrooms for starters. It's really interesting because mushrooms did come through as a message, so I want to see if they just want me to start there or from the top here. We'll start with the mushroom message. So not the first message I got for you guys when I jumped into this for the collective for everybody here, but deep transformation is what I was getting when they showed me mushrooms. They said enough people on Earth have transformed that everyone is transforming. So you have a wave of transformation rolling through you, changing your ideas, trajectory, and even certain things you were certain of. Just roll with it. Just roll with it. Like surfing waves, riding waves of transformation will take you to shore and solid ground. Whereas before, maybe some of you thought you were drowning. It's time to stop drowning. Let transformation roll through you and take you to solid ground. I've been getting messages about transformation rolling through for, a long time, and intermittently probably for a while, but more recently it's really spiked up. In August, I definitely got a message of like transformation like in August. So it's showing up again here, and again, it's timeless, but so if you're seeing this in the future, it's for you now as well. But I really like the message where it's like, if you're just willing to roll with the transformation, it's going to take you to solid ground. It's going to take you to shore. You won't feel like you're drowning. So just know that things are changing. I want to see if there's anything more with mushroom though, while we're still on the topic here. The thing they're also showing me with mushrooms is, a lot of mushroom networks are very deeply connected underground, and like certain mushroom organisms are just like miles long and like just massive. But the words they're giving me are deeply rooted as well. So let me see what the message is. Fully flies good. Regarding deeply rooted. Some of you, this is not for all of you, need to get deeply rooted is one of the messages I'm getting for you, first and foremost. So it's a good time to get grounded. And I'm getting like a weird message, like let yourself get the nutrients you need from the earth. Give me 1 second to get what that means for you guys here. They're just saying, like, if you're getting grounded, if you're getting here and present, there's a lot of like quote unquote nutrition that's coming in for you that might you might miss if you're like up in the air or if you're like too scattered is something they're saying. So I would really definitely focus on getting grounded right now, and like being here is something they're saying. And they're like, it's okay if you do some type of like metaphysical work and you're channeling and doing intuitive work, that's okay. But in your spare moments, try to get grounded. That'll be enough. The next message I have for you here at Orange, they said balance being restored and also like justice coming in strongly. And they almost like gave me this phrase. Well, they did. They're like, no one can hide. So they said the universe is sweeping a wave of justice through this collective, whoever's watching this. So a lot of wrongs are going to be righted. And then they said they promise, which is really interesting. So a lot of balance being restored and justice coming in strong. Any other further messages on that? They're just saying, like, if you've been wronged, that's going to be righted, essentially. So anything else on that with justice? They're just saying, like, hey, just know there's a lot of rectification coming in, a lot of justice coming in for you guys. And also just like a lot of things improving for many of you as a result and like because of that. And they're just also giving me this phrase, like, hang in there as justice is being served. Because there might be a lot of changes in your life as a result. And like, maybe there was someone you thought was like on your side, quote unquote, that wasn't. I'm not asking you to be suspicious right now. It's just something to just be aware of what happens and what plays out and what truths are unveiled and take your actions accordingly. You don't need to freak out about this message necessarily. But a lot of improvement coming as a result of justice is what I'm getting for the vast majority of you tuning into this. Another message that just came through for you guys, for everyone, is just like angels. They just said work with angels, call them in every day, ask for their assistance. A simple request will solve a lot of issues. And the example they gave me were like, angels, help me out today. Like, just angels, help me out today. You are being called upon to ask for more help, like from the universe, maybe even from people around you, but mostly from the angels is what I'm getting. So, and they're also saying, like, hey, don't poo-poo how much they can help you when you ask for that help from the universe, from the divine, like every day, because that can even like compound, and then all of a sudden like you're helped automatically, or you're just like divinely guided and looked after no matter what. But they're just saying, like, make sure you're communicating and like asking for help and calling that in. It's like it's needed right now for whatever reason. They're also singing the song, not singing, they're playing the song Under Pressure. I think that's David Bowie, right? Don't quote me on that. So what's up with that song that they're playing right now? They're giving this side message for you guys. Like, if you feel like you're under pressure to change, they're like, please do change, is the message they're giving me with that one. You're not supposed to stay still or stagnant right now, if that makes sense. The next message I have for everybody here, transmutation. They said a lot of you are going to be transmuting very quickly. There's a lot that's leaving and a lot shedding quickly. Hang in there while things shed. New is right around the corner for everyone. New beginnings, even like for some of you, new love, for some of you, new jobs, etc. So just a lot of new. And they even said like the month September and on, especially if you're watching this live September and on. If you're seeing this in the future, maybe after September, I'd say in the next few months. And for some of you, it might still be September. It's just like the next September from whenever you're watching this. And maybe even a bit of both of those two is what I'm getting. It is general, but that's what I'm hearing for you guys. So if I were to summarize, what else do I need to say about that message? Fully flies good here. I think that really summarize it, like a lot leaving and shedding quickly, hang in there while they shed. New is right around the corner for everyone. So anything else on that? Fully flies good here. They're just saying, like, if you're healing like really quickly and like you're like waking up like a new person is something they're saying, like maybe even multiple times after maybe you've gone through a rough night, or maybe even like a mini dark night of the soul for some of you is something I'm hearing, or even a lot of you. They're just like, just roll with that, essentially, like let that healing roll through you. It's just needed for like rapid transformation is kind of what they're saying. And you'll get a pause if it's too much, like you'll get a week, of a break from that, or like you can, you can slow it. They don't want me to get this message. What's the message you want me to give? if you need to, you can slow it down. You can ask it to slow down. If healing's too intense, it's too much all at once, is one thing they're saying with that, and just something you can do in general. But they're saying like if it's too much, you're gonna get a break. Otherwise, a lot of just transformation. But I love the good news that there's just a lot of new coming in, and that is a message I was getting, I think starting in July, starting on the newsletter that I've been doing. I've been doing channel newsletters every month. For the month ahead, I send it out in the first of each month. I think like the rest of the year I was getting like around July, I want to say. Like there's just a lot of chapters closing, a lot of new chapters opening, a lot of pages and chapters turning, I suppose you could say. So it doesn't surprise me that this message is coming through right now. Next message I have for you guys: the world is changing. They said you're going to start to see a lot of that around you. The world is not going to be staying the same. You have a lot of new on the way. We kind of covered that already, but even not just you, but the world around you is changing as well. I also get this message next year is going to be totally different from whatever you're seeing right now, like around you. There's going to be a lot of changes, like a year from now, a couple of years from now, like even more so than from last year is what I'm getting for most of you, like 90% is what I'm hearing. So keep that in mind. And for the other 10%, if you're willing to make changes, you'll get more changes. For that other 10% is something I'm getting as well, if you want change. And you don't see it happening. Next message I have here, we already kind of covered the mushroom and the deep transformation rolling through. Hi, kitty. Hi, I'm getting interrupted by cats, but maybe that's a sign for you guys. Hi, buddy. I'm busy. So next message, we'll just roll through to delivery. They said a lot of what you have been asking for, manifesting is on the way. It kind of depends on what you've been asking for, but manifestations are coming. Especially to the end of the year, a lot of manifestation delivery is what they're showing me. Even like they're showing me Christmas as well, and that kind of came through in a different message, but we'll get to that in a second because I think they're different messages. I also get Christmas is going to be a time of delivery for many of you, even outside of just like normal gift giving, but even like gift giving by the universe. So like now until Christmas, now through December, a lot of manifestations on the rise. And if yours gets delayed, like maybe you have one special one that's delayed, one, they're just making it better, or two, there's a different path for you. I'd really trust that, because when that happens, when a manifestation is changed or delayed, or you're supposed to get something better, like it always leads to something better, or it's just like the thing that you thought you wanted is not what you wanted. And like, I would just be okay with that. Would it be for that scared for me to tell the story I want to tell? An example would be like one time I was going for a promotion at work when I worked. I mean, I still work, but when I had a job, because I do this full time now. And what happened was I was going for a promotion, and then like it didn't work out, and I had all these signs like boss and like, oh, like friends who'd be like, oh, you're gonna get it. And then like I remember thinking like, oh, I think I'd like to get this job. And then I pulled up my Facebook and my feed, once you're like in tune and you channel and you can read the energies of synchronicities, like everything becomes your oracle, if that makes sense, like 24/7. And I was thinking about like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this job, whatever. And I pull up my Facebook feed, and the first meme or quote I see is like, it was like a Stoic philosophy quote by like Marcus Aurelius, I think, and it was like, you should be suspicious of what you want, or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. And then I would switch it. I'm like, universe, whatever would be for the highest good regarding this promotion or whatever, just bring about that. And so I didn't get the promotion, but I did get steered towards this work, and I was able to eventually quit my job because I was doing this instead. So I got something way better, way more aligned. So I would just trust it if a manifestation gets delayed or steered in a different direction, like it's okay. It might take a little bit longer for it to show up than like that, whatever you were going for, that's okay. Like it's going to be way better. You'd much rather be on your path than have something that's not for you, that turns out to be like just not what you want. Or like, like the example they're showing me is like, I don't always like this example, but pyrite instead of actual gold, or I guess like the better example would be like the chocolate coins instead of actual like gold coins. You know how they have the gold coins in foil that you open and it's just like a piece of chocolate. You'd rather have the real gold. And even if you like chocolate, if you have real gold, you can buy a lot more chocolate with real gold than with chocolate gold. That's not much chocolate compared to a gold amount of chocolate. You know what I'm saying. Next message. They just said, dragon. They showed me a dragon. They love dragons. They said, uprise, the things you thought were unchangeable are changing. Now is the time to make wishes and move towards success. Even a small action towards success can change a lot. You are getting an uplift out of old patterns. So I think I need to just be more present while I'm reading these so I remember what I'm saying when I'm reading them. So anything, I mean, though, I feel like the message is just like plain as day right there. So anything else on that, fully flash, good to hear. The other message coming in is there is just more magic on the rise. You're going to see that in like the delivery, like the message that came through about delivery and manifestations being delivered. Plus the world is just becoming more magical. As long as you're willing to allow your world to become more magical, you're going to be seeing the more of that magic inside of you and outside of you. And as you become more magical, everything becomes more magical is something they're saying. So if you've been working on your magic, whether it's intuition, manifestation, energy work, or beyond that, all that whole slew of things, you're going to have more magic outside of you. Pointing the way is one thing they're showing me, like signs, synchronicities, manifestations. But also just for you to enjoy, just more magic for you to enjoy as well as something they're saying too, which is cool. I like that message, the things you thought were unchangeable are changing. Especially if it's something you thought you were stuck with or that you'd never get out of. I get this message like you're never stuck. Like you might seem stuck, it might appear that you're stuck, but there's always a way out is something I'm hearing. Unless you really need to be in that circumstance for a certain amount of time, they're like, that's okay. But eventually things can shift if you're willing to allow the possibility that they can shift. Next message, they showed me a puzzle piece. They said, the puzzle piece you are meant to be is becoming more clear. Clarity is on the rise for you regarding who you're meant to be. So, you know, we all kind of have our role in life is what I'm hearing. You, me, the dog, the cat, something you're here to fulfill, a purpose, if you will, you're supposed to play out or something along those lines. So you're going to be getting more clarity on what that is, or at least a part of what that is. And like that can shift over time. You might be here to be a crusader of justice in the night for 10 years, and then you're supposed to take care of a baby and nurture your kids for the next 10 years. And then you're supposed to start a business that changes this section of the world and this thing for people over the next 20 years. And then you die and you fulfilled, and you're like, oh wait, I played out these like 20 million other purposes through all those other things that I thought I was supposed to be doing and that I was doing while I was playing out my purposes. Is like a weird example they're showing me, though I don't think that's going to be all of your stories, because I don't think a lot of us are crusaders of justice in the night, only a select few. But I digress. I want to see if there's more they want to bring through on that fully for that's good here. They're also just giving a message like there's a lot more purpose for you than you realize. And that's coming is something I'm getting, like more of your purpose, more of what you're here to do. And the other thing they're saying is like the more you get clarity on like what you're here to do, what your role is right now, the easier it is to accept and be at peace with like what you're doing, what you're planning, what you're creating, because you know it's right in alignment with who you are, who you're meant to be. And the other message I'm getting is like, you know, you can only change who you are if you need to. If you don't like what's playing out, you can ask for more, you can ask for better, and you're probably supposed to, is something I'm hearing as well. For those of you who were dealing with that thought when I was saying that, if any of you. Next message, just a few. Next message here, chimney, which we talked about like 2 or 3 messages ago. A lot of wishes being granted. Again, they showed me Christmas. They said, just be patient, your turn will come. So we kind of already talked about manifestations coming in from now until like Christmas time through December. And of course, like beyond that, but that's just what they're showing me is like, this is a really good time for that. So that's kind of it for the collective. There might be like 1 or 2 more messages they want to bring through besides what I have channeled ahead of time. So what else would be high so much for me to bring through for you guys before we move on? They're showing me clouds right now. Then they're showing me stormy clouds, and they're showing me a lighthouse. Where is this going? Lightning striking the lighthouse. 1 second. So what's the message fully for this? Good here. Pretty much just a message that the storm is leaving. I get messages like this sometimes, but if you've been going through a storm or you feel like you've been in metaphorical choppy waters in your life, I feel like things are about to calm and smooth over, but like for good, essentially. And you know, sometimes storms roll through, sometimes that energy comes through to shake things up and get us to a fresh start or get us to something new or to do whatever it's supposed to do, spur healing. but a lot of you guys are called to be lighthouses in the storm for others when things are stormy. For others of you, the storm is leaving, is a message I'm getting, which is good. So anything else that would be highest and most for me to bring through here? One message I'm also getting for everyone is like, you know, like you can always be lifted energetically above the quote unquote madness on earth, like what's going on with politics, what's going on the world over energetically, what's on the news. And they're just saying like, you know, some of you, or maybe a lot of you, it would just be really good to ask to be uplifted above that noise. That would be really helpful for you. And they're also saying like, you know, for anyone who needs to hear this, you don't need to take that on or make that your reality. You know, not everything the news says is true. Not everything your Uncle Larry, who's a conspiracy theorist, says is true, if any of it is true. Because personally, if I'm being frank with you guys, whenever I check in on conspiracy theories, the 99.9% of them just aren't true. And maybe there's some kernels of truth in them, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Especially, I mean, I wasn't before I really got in tune with my intuition and channeling and spiritual gifts and abilities, and I'm definitely not now that I am. And I'm very, I'm just not gonna get into it. I think I'll just let that speak for itself. Anything else for you guys while we're here talking about this? They are showing me like just a starry like sky and like constellations, and now like a stag is showing up. So let me see what the message is for you guys on that here. The message I do get for you guys who are tuning into this is just new direction. We kind of already talked about this, but if you're supposed to get to a new direction or go to a new direction, they're showing like a magnet, like you're being magnetized to that new direction. It's just going to be unavoidable. And it's almost like kind of no matter what you want, because you might like think you want to be a rock star like Metallica on stage playing cool metal songs, but maybe you're called to be a channeler is the example they're giving me, or maybe you're called to be a psychic and get on stage and do readings and talk to people, or maybe you're called to be a crystal healer, and that's a much peaceful, better, higher aligned path for you. And it's like even if you have big dreams, like things can still be big for you. If some of you need to hear this, by the way, it just might look a bit different, but you'll get so much more of what you actually wanted through the original dream if you're magnetized to a new path at this time. And again, I get it, it's unavoidable here. So that's kind of what the message is for you guys regarding like new direction or new beginnings like that. So they want me to end the collective readings, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope that made sense and was helpful for all of you who tuned in. So, I'm not sure what I'm reading in the chat, but whatever. Moderators, you can take care of anything weird if you want to. And if you guys were just agreeing with what I was saying, then sorry. So we are going to move on to the just readings by zodiac element. So we're going to do the fire signs, earth signs, air signs, water signs in that order. I just like to keep it in that order because it's easier for me. I have my little note cards, so it should, hopefully you guys can read it. I didn't realize how small they were until this is my first time using this, but I'm going to stick it on the wall, so hopefully you can read what I'm doing right now. And that also just makes it easier for me when I'm trying to timestamp this for YouTube afterwards too. So fire signs. Thank you, so helpful. Awesome, glad to hear it. Do you know what sign I am? I think I may be a fire sign. I would just take a second to go Google it real quickly. And there's little calculators. You just need your birth date, your time of birth, and then your city of birth. You can plug that in. You can get your sun, moon, and rising signs. And these signs are for sun, moon, and rising, by the way. So if you have a fire sign, sun, moon, and or rising, like it's for you. And then if you have like, let's say you have a fire, sun sign, an earth rising, and then like a water, moon, those three readings, the fire, earth, water, will be for you, is how I approach this. So we're starting with the fire signs, sun, moon, and rising. Oh, no worries, Rachel. So fire signs, sun, moon, and rising, we're going to jump right in. The first, well, give me 1 second. I'm going to take a drink of water because that helps me, I think. Sorry, I just realized you guys were probably talking about like the conspiracy theories were fear-based. So if you were agreeing with what I was saying, totally apologize, because sometimes I jump in and there's weird things going on in chat. I'm like, well, what's going on here? But okay, fire sign, sun, moon, and rising. It's for you when you see it if you're watching this on YouTube. So the first message I have for you guys, well, 1 second, they're stopping me. So I'm going to honor what they want me to do. So 1 second here, fully flex good here. They want me to apologize if I upset anyone with what I jumped in with. Okay, so next message here. So fully flex good. And so I do. I'm sorry if I upset anyone. Next message, first message. Ugh, I have this habit of saying next message now because I say that so much. So what's the first message that would be highest message for me to get to? We're going here. So overcoming for the fire sign, sun, moon, and rising. Sorry for my little spin there. The first thing I was getting for the fire sign, sun, moon, and rising is overcoming. So a lot flipping, a lot of, in a good way, they just show me like pancakes, like flipping. So a lot of positive flips happening, and maybe one thing is going one way and then it's going another, and it's going in a much better way is something they're saying. They also said a lot of burdens are leaving. So you are overcoming a shift of ages and a lot is changing for you. If you keep going, things are going to turn around big time in a huge way for the highest good. You are going to love your life. Keep trucking. A lot of positive change is ahead. So honestly, it just sounds like the fire sign is going through a huge shift whenever you're seeing this in your life and in your circumstances. And like one of the messages is like, just keep going. They're like, there might be a lot of change, but just keep trucking. I feel like it's positive, and it's headed to way better is something I'm hearing as well. And they're also saying like, don't worry about the flip that I was talking about in this reading. It's positive. It doesn't mean your relationship's going well and then it's going to flip and be terrible. It's more like, you might be really wary of something and then it flips and it's really good. Or you've been experiencing one side of something and then you get to experience the other, but in like a positive way is something I'm getting. So just a lot of improvement is what I'd say for the fire signs, which is really good. And the key word was overcoming with that. So I feel like you currently are overcoming or will be soon. Next month, like getting over the hump is something they're showing me as well. If you feel like you're in the middle of a hump for some of you. The next message I have for you, they said, be who you are. This is just a brief message. Don't tone yourself down for anyone. You are meant to shine. Be the shiny you are meant to be. If you feel called to step into the spotlight, I would. Or just like don't back down from a challenge is something they're showing me as well. Another message they're giving me, like don't back down from a challenge. But just important that you're being who you are, remembering who that is, not toning that down for anyone, no matter what. I feel like if you're in like a competition, you're going to win is something I'm hearing as well. Random message for those of you who feel like you're in that. They're showing me like a key and an ignition, like for a car, like turning. I know a lot of keys are just like key fobs and you press a button. So give me a second to go back to the 90s and early 2000s, but they're showing me a key turning. So what's the message here with the key turning here? Fully fast, good here. There's just a lot of ignition in your life. And they're saying like, this is just the beginning. They're saying like, if you feel like you've been through a lot of change recently, like just wait. Like a lot is about to rocket forward. So next message I have here, they show me, they just gave me the words new beginning and a new leaf. So a lot of new leaves coming for you over the next while. For some instant, for others sooner rather than later, but over the next little while, essentially. So I feel like, again, we talked about that with like the collective for everyone reading, where that's just kind of happening. But especially for you, even over the next few weeks from whenever you're seeing this is what I'm hearing, or like 2 to 3 months, which I guess was the same time frame we were talking about, but whatever. That's what I'm hearing. Just a lot of change coming in for you guys with like new beginning and new leaf turning over. I feel like for a lot of you, next year is going to be a lot better than anything you've had before. Like the message I just heard was next year is going to be a lot better than anything you've had before. If I'm just going to tell you what they're saying, which is probably what I should do. So that's what I'm hearing for you guys as well. So I'd say next year is going to be really good for you guys. And they're saying like, regardless of world events, and they're saying like, you know what, if you're one of those cases where next year isn't really good, the year after that's going to be really good is what they're saying. So you're slated for a good year in here is what I'd say for the fire signs if you haven't had one. And if you've had one, it's just going to be better. Grasshopper was the next thing they showed me. So weirdly enough with grasshopper, usually it means leaps of faith. For you guys, for the fire signs, I was getting, it was like a lot of healing and rapid change. We're kind of already covered that, at least like the rapid change, but a lot of healing coming in as well. But they're almost showing it like a tornado of healing. So let me see what the full message is. Fully Fly's good here for you guys here. This isn't something I would probably take literally. I mean, maybe some of you are in some interesting circumstance where this would be a literal message, but they're almost showing like a tornado of healing, but it's like going through all the chakras. So you might feel like you get quote unquote, and it's not like it's hurting you, but so bear with me as I explain this. It's like you might get like wrecked one day regarding like your solar plexus. So like regarding personal power and standing in your power and feeling disempowered. And then you're like totally fine the next minute or the next day. But then like your heart is like hurting and you're remembering all these past memories and you're just kind of getting all twisted up on it. And then it's like you release and you heal and it's like fine. But then like you have this challenge regarding your voice. So it's kind of like this, excuse me as I rub my eyes here, rapid cleanup, I guess you could say, of like just the chakras. And it's like the message I get is healing, preparing for change. And sometimes if not all the time, our body starts to prepare before we have shifts in our life coming up. So we might just notice these changes in ourselves and our energy fields for like what's up ahead. And some of you are going through that right now where like the healing you're going through is like preparing you for like your next role or your next endeavor or place in the world, etc. Or like the next change, you could say as well. And that's kind of what they want me to say for that message. So funny enough, we just talked about solar plexus. They said, yellow, your solar plexus is activated. 99.9% of you have healed a lot. It's going to change things. So they're just showing your solar plexus in a good activated state, you being like you've worked through a lot and healed a lot, and that because of that things are going to change for the better. They're giving me the words personal empowerment. So it's a good time to stay in your personal power and own that and not let anyone shake you from that. Like, I would just own it really strongly if you can. I want to see if they'll give me an example on like how to do that or what would help you guys do that if you guys are curious about that. So Fully Fly is good. Any tips for owning your personal power? The first tip, and I know I say it a lot potentially, but for me it works. They're just like, just ask to own your personal power and see what shows up. They're also saying like, hey, ask the angels to steer you towards your personal power if you feel like that's something that would help you, if you feel like you're still a little bit confused on how to go about that. So anything else on owning your personal power? They're saying like, don't let people like shake your boundaries. Like once you set a boundary, like hold it firm. It's not really a good time to like relent on the healthy boundaries you've set for yourself. And they're saying like, otherwise, you know, if you relent on that, you might have to redo healing. As something they're saying on that, interestingly enough. So I would try to be firm in your boundaries at this time, and I feel like you will. I'm getting the message you will, so I'm not too worried about that. The other thing they wanted to say, like if you want a tip on staying balanced right now for the fire signs, if you are focusing on your root chakra, you will be balanced. So root chakra healing music on YouTube, I get, even if that's just a way you're setting the intention. What's the highest much for me to say about this before I go on a tangent? Sometimes just setting the intention is enough. Depending on who you are and where you're at. And I would say do what works for you on balancing your root chakra. If you do Reiki or energy work, do your thing. If you like to use music or like, you know, sound tools, do that. If you have YouTube videos you go to for balancing certain chakras, do that. Do whatever works for you is what I'd say. I think that will keep me from going on a tangent if I say it that way. And my guys are like, you need to go on a tangent sometimes to me. I'm like, I know. So, but maybe not this time. I will if they want me to though. So next message here for you guys, they said, look at yourself. This is an interesting one. So I'm going to ask them for more examples as I go through this. They said, look at yourself like a tree and you will be successful. What does that mean? I'm going to read what they said. I'm going to ask for more clarification. They said, being rooted but receptive and gathering all you need from the earth and from the sun. Don't view yourself like a normal person, but view yourself as someone who might. The extra message with this is don't view yourself as a normal person, but view yourself as someone who might need extra attention from yourself. If you give yourself extra attention and self-care, you will thrive. They said just a bit more than normal is what they're saying. So as far as like looking at yourself like a tree, some of you, maybe that just clicked something right off the bat and it made sense. I want to see if there's anything else they want to say for highest and the highest and best ways for you about that. Fully Fly is good. So 1 second here. 1, stay grounded is one thing they're saying. 2, they're like open to source, and just bring that divine information or energy through, just kind of like I guess like a tree's leaves is receptive to the sunlight. And they're also saying, like, like a tree is rooted in place. They're saying, I think it's good to be able to change when it's for the highest good. But what they're saying for you is it's okay to be rooted and like maybe even immobile on certain stances if that feels right to you. Like you don't need to second guess all your life decisions. You don't need to think you're in the wrong place. Like a tree is always in the right place for it to be. And like if it wasn't, it wouldn't be there, if that makes sense. But they're also giving this weird example, like what are the things a tree needs for it to be taken care of? Like it needs water, it needs rain, it needs sunlight, it needs like all that it can get from nature, essentially. So just make sure all your base needs are covered as well. You as a human is something I'd say. It's like it's important that you're giving yourself all that nature would provide you, if that's a hint that makes more sense. A bit of a strange message, so is there a bit more on that? Fully fly is good. They're just saying like a tree has all it needs and so do you. So that's like a really strange message. I don't think I've had one come through like that before, so hopefully it made sense. I'm gonna move on. The next message, I kind of already covered it. They just said no more burdens. If you find yourself carrying burdens, take a second to ask yourself why, then ask yourself if you need to carry those burdens. You don't need to carry burdens, whether they be past wounds, others' energies, or anything else. Free yourself of the self-image of someone who is afflicted, burdened, or weighed down. You don't need to be burdened, afflicted, or weighed down. So pretty self-explanatory there. They're just saying like it's just time to drop burdens that you don't need. And you're not a pack animal is something they said as well. You don't need to carry everything. You don't need to carry everyone. It's kind of time to live your own life. And if you have kids, I understand that's a different story. Like you still have to look after kids. You still have to look after your responsibilities, I suppose you could say. But you don't need to treat it like a chore where you can't do anything else if you can help it. I know that can be a challenge, but that's the message I'm getting on that one, interestingly enough. For some reason, there's just this message, don't treat yourself like a pack animal. Don't treat yourself like the place everyone can go to dump their stuff. Don't treat yourself like it's your job to take care of everyone. Like it's not. Take care of you first and take care of your dreams and aspirations. That's more important than, if this is for you, being a dumping ground is something I'm hearing explicitly, or being a pack animal for others. Don't do that. And they're almost showing me just like a Leo. I know not all of you are Leos, probably some of you are Sagittarius, some of you are Aries, there it is. But they're almost showing it like a lion. Like a lion is not a pack animal, so just keep that in mind. And like a lion still takes care of its young, it still hunts, it still does the thing, but it's not like, you don't ride a lion into battle. If you were to go into battle with a lion, it would probably be side by side, and we'll keep Narnia out of that example. Next message here, they show me a dragon. They said fire. A lot of fire energy with you, which is of course your fire signs, but I feel like it's a little bit different. They said use it to burn through everything that's holding you back. For example, taking action, not quitting when you normally would, make changes you'd typically hold back from, etc. Use your fire and passion right now to burn holes through your blocks. So now's a really good time, I guess, to take a blowtorch to your issues. Or in like Star Wars, I guess this was like the Star Wars, not the first movie, but Star Wars episode 1, like the prequels, and they'd use like the lightsaber to like cut through like this like blast door, or this metal door that they couldn't get through. I guess they'd like just cut a circle in it or something like that. So they're showing me that, but what else would be high so much for me to bring through for you? Like now's a really good time to be persistent, to really show up for yourself and like work through your issues and like work through the obstacles. Like now is the time, is what I'm hearing. And if you're willing to bring that fire to your life and like just burn down what's hindering you, but also like use that fire as like fuel, I guess like a steam engine to like power through and like move forward, you're gonna see a lot of success, is what I'm getting for the fire signs. So it's kind of time to keep that fire roaring and like bring that passion, bring that persistence. to bear and really either change things with that or just do what you feel called to do with that. That's kind of it. I suppose like the last message I had for you here is just like there's more blessings on the way, which is just a quick. They showed me like the Orioles. I know that's a bird, but I can't remember if that's like an actual pro baseball team or if the Orioles were just like a little league baseball team that I encountered that I thought was based off of a pro baseball team. But they showed me like the Orioles, and I didn't get, like, they wanted me to move on before I really got a full message on that. So what's the message on Orioles, if any? I guess I'd take that as a sign. They're also saying like the color orange is like a sign that you're on the right track if you just see it like everywhere, or if you see it in very like obvious spots, you're like, oh, that's a sign. Orange means you're on the right track, I guess. I think Orioles are black and orange, but I don't remember, so don't quote me on that. So anything else for the fire signs, sun, moon, and rising before we move on? They're saying not to let your flame be doused. And like, even if life throws some water your way that might like put out your flame, they're like, use that as like fire and water make steam, like use that as steam to like power you forward even more. Don't take it as defeat. So that's it. I guess, well, I keep saying that's it, and then I get another message. Malachite might be an important crystal. Archangel Raphael is coming forward with that one. I guess it's just an important time for healing. They're saying you've made strides. I feel like you're almost done with certain amounts of healing. But that's it. We're going to move forward to the earth signs, sun, moon, and rising, but I hope that was helpful for the fire signs. I've been protecting my flame from the world for 36 years. Not going to stop now. That's the attitude. I like that. It's a Cancer rising. I'm sure I'll be producing my own steam. Water reminder. Thank you, Destiny. By the way, shout out to the moderators, Destiny, Texas Jess. And I apologize if China Sina Moon Girl is here. She's a moderator and I don't know how to pronounce her username, so I could probably ask my guides, but I just haven't. I'll just ask her. But I just want to say thank you to the mods for keeping the chat good and keeping things running smoothly. They're fantastic. They volunteer. They make my life so much easier so I can focus on doing the reading. So thank you so much to the moderators, and feel free to give them some love. I know my hair is all like frizzy and it's unmirrored, so it's harder to fix right now. So don't worry about it. I'm just not going to worry about it and trust you guys are here for the messages. Next message here. Next message is actually a new reading. So we're moving to the earth signs. This is my new sign system, so bear with me. I need bigger signs, I know. I hope you guys like hot pink. So this is for the earth signs. Oh, thank you. Dana Burns art, I appreciate that. This is for thanks Destiny, I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I appreciate it. I'm here for the hair. I love you guys. You guys rock. How's it get any better than that? So, fully fly is good. This is for the earth sign, sun, moon, and rising. So if you have an earth sign, sun, moon, or rising, this will be for you when you see it. I super appreciate it, Dana Burns art. So we're going to roll through the messages I have for the earth signs. And then we'll just see what else comes through. Fully fly is good. My spirit guides, the angels, and source will bring through any additional information that's for your highest good as I go through these. The first message I got for the earth sign, sun, moon, and rising is improvement. A lot of you are improving or will be improving yourselves soon. So this is a great time to work on you. A lot of massive improvements coming in for the earth signs. If you are willing to work, you are going to be successful. This is not a time to sit around or expect results without doing anything about for the next month or so from when you're seeing this, maybe the next two. Action, action, action. You are meant to be successful. So I love that phrase for the earth sign, sun, moon, and rising. You are meant to be successful. I'd say a lot of success coming in the near future, but they're also showing me like in the next year, and don't limit it to that. It's just what I'm getting for this reading for you guys. I think that's also partially to keep you moving forward. I don't think it's a ploy to get you moving forward where there's not actually success either, but that's just, I'm hearing both those things where it's success, but also they want you to keep moving forward essentially. So a lot of improvements to you and to your life, especially if you're working for them is what I'm getting, but it's a great time to be on your work hours and getting things done. They're showing me the Knight of Pentacles tarot card as well. So let me see what the message is with that one here. So I think with the Knight of Pentacles, I've seen some readers read it as he needs to take action or he needs to move forward. What they're showing me is this Knight of Pentacles, but then you know how like in art they'll like draw little like action lines to show someone like moving forward. Like they're showing this Knight of Pentacles like starting to move forward. He has like more action lines, and it's almost like his horse is like riding on top of this like rocket powered jet or something, and so his like horse is like rocketing forward a bit more. Like whether this knight wants to or not is something they're showing me. So if you're working, you're going to be moving forward, and by working I mean like working on projects, working on yourself, working on your trajectory. So good time to take action is what I'd say, especially for the next month or so. The next message I have, well, there's more on that one. So what else is going on here? They are showing me like abundance is coming in for you guys. Some of you, especially if you have like worked hard or something, I'm getting like, they're saying like, you've worked hard, abundance is on the way, like don't give up now, don't quit, is something I'm hearing for anyone who needs to hear that. But more abundance on the way. And I feel like this next year or so is going to see like a steadier growth of abundance for some of you. For others, it might be intermittent, but overall it's growing, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, maybe someone gives you a gift of $1,000, and then you have like a weird bad month, but then like you are able to recoup that at a side job or something. Or if you have your own business, then that speaks for itself, I think, that message. Next message I have here, they show me this, that the grass is growing. The seeds you have planted are growing. There's a lot coming in for you. Be patient as the, the harvest commences for you. Abundance is on the way. You are meant to be successful. Well, I guess I already covered abundance being on the way. Sometimes that happens where I get the message before I read it, and yeah, so that's and you know, sometimes I don't always remember what I channeled through beforehand. So I don't know, not that you need to know that. The next message, or I want to go further into that previous message here. So grass is growing, the seeds you planted are growing. So anything else on that fully for that is good here. So I feel like now to the end of the year is going to be like a harvest for you, where we talked about for everyone it being a time of manifestations coming in, but you're getting manifestations, you're getting like growth in an endeavor and in you as well. You're getting like seeds you planted sprouting or just becoming ready. So that's just another way I think I'm just reiterating the message, but they did reiterate you are meant to be successful. That came through like just twice in case you need to hear it twice. So keep that in mind, earth signs. Next message I have for you, they gave me the word flow. They said you are in flow, stay flowing, do not deviate from flow. Show up every day and work towards your success. This will bring you to the best outcomes. A step every day brings you all the way. I think the part that jumped out for me was that little quote there, a step every day brings you all the way. This is like pretty much what they said. So just keep that in mind. A step every day brings you all the way. I think if you were to keep that in mind and just take a step every day, you'd get very far. And they're showing this, again, this concept of like compounding, where it's like, if you're taking a step towards your dreams, your goal, I don't like the word goals anymore for right now. So sorry, your dreams, your aspirations, that's going to compound and get you a lot further. And they're showing me an example that I'm just going to say as well. I remember it was a different book. This was a while ago, actually. This was like in my early 20s, maybe like early to mid 20s. I wanted to like write this book, and I don't think I can even say the title because it's kind of rated R, but it was like a parody self-help book. And I thought it was really funny at the time, but pretty much what I was doing is I was working full time at the time. I had like a relationship, a person I was dating at the time. So, but I had one day off from work that I wasn't seeing the person I was dating. And so I always used that day that week to just work on the book for however many hours was right. It could have been 4 hours, it could have been 8 hours, just however much time felt right and was flowing. And so just showing up that one day every week, eventually I had a book essentially like done. I never launched it because then I went through a big spiritual awakening. I was like, I don't know if I want to put this out into the world, just with some of the words that were in it and things like that. But that's just one thing I learned is like, when you're just showing up with some type of consistency, you're going to get somewhere, and that effort compounds. So if any of you needs to hear that, there you go. Next message I have here, they gave me the word like truce. They just said, give up on pleasing. Don't try to please everyone. Try to do the best work you can instead. So instead of trying to please everyone, do the best work you can. And I guess an example they're kind of showing me is like, maybe you're in like middle management somewhere in a company and like you're trying to please your bosses and the higher ups, and you're trying to please the people beneath you and the workers, and you're trying to keep everyone happy, but like nothing's getting done because it's like conflicting interests. If you actually find yourself in that position, I suppose the advice I get is try to meet in the middle and do the best you can. But beyond that, instead of trying to please everyone, just try to do the best work you can. Coming from a highest aligned, like divinely guided standpoint, if you're there and you can do that, and if you're not there, just ask what it would take for that to show up for you in some way, and just see what manifests. Or maybe like a tip could be, if you're like newer to this and you're like, I don't know, I don't think I've had an experience like that yet, you could be like, okay, how would I approach this if I were divinely guided? And like just try to manifest that by like setting that intention, and like, universe, show me what that would be like. And either you'll become divinely guided over time and you'll get that experience, or you'll just get the experience of what it would have been like if you were divinely guided. Kind of a little hack there in manifestation, maybe, if one of you wants to try that. So I would but the message is self-explanatory. I'm not gonna run in a circle with that one. Next message I have here, was there more on that with the truths? They're just saying there's a lot of peace coming in for you. That was the next message. Peace. You're getting an uplift of peace. More peace is coming in for you. Sorry. That's so you have a lot more peace coming in for you right now is what I'd say. And what I was getting. So just keep that in mind, which is good. I don't know if you really have to do anything. I feel like that's just coming. The next thing they showed me, Grasshopper. Yeah, they showed me for the fire signs, but Grasshopper showed up for the earth signs with a different message. Grasshopper, in this instance, Grasshopper spirit animal, or they're using Grasshopper as an image. They're saying both. Jump. It is time to jump and take a leap. If you are willing to leap right now, you will be successful. If a leap of faith presents itself, or a leap right now. And they're saying, like, if you're holding back from starting something new, don't start something new or start 2 new things. Don't hold back from starting something new. If you're someone who needs to hear that, they're just jumping that in right now while we're here on the message. This one might not be for all of you, by the way. They gave me the word Cancer. They showed me the astrology sign Cancer. I don't think it's about the illness. They said you don't need to keep taking people back. Be wary of a Cancer or Cancer sign. Cancer's sun sign, I think. And if you have Cancer in your chart, don't worry. I don't think you need to freak out about this. This is for someone who's like dealing with a Cancer sign or something like that. So I want to see if there's more clarification on that. There's just a clarification for it. This might not even have to do with someone who's a Cancer sign, but if someone has just like screwed you over in the past perpetually, you don't need to take them back, essentially, is what I'm getting. I don't care if you think they're your soulmate or and I'm getting you don't think they're your twin flame. So I won't say that. But I was gonna say I don't care if you think they're your twin flame, but they said don't worry about that. So they're just like, no, like, move forward. There's better for you. But that's it for the earth sign, sun, moon, and rising. I hope that all made sense and resonated and was helpful. And there's all that's for the highest good for it to do for you. We are going to move on in a second after I drink some water. My ex-husband is a Cancer. There you go. Yes, we are doing the air signs next. So, hi, Dream Kitten. I don't need to be careful, but funny. Never mind, they don't want me to say it. I was going to say a funny story, but they don't want me to get into it. So next message here. Oh my God. I have this habit of saying next message, so I'm gonna get that eventually where I don't say that all the time. But we're going to the air signs. I'm getting really good at placing these signs, guys. Oh, I think this won't be behind my head this time. Hey, air signs. So if you have I'm going to get bigger signs next time as well. But if you have an air sign, no, you did not miss water. That is after the air signs. Thank you, Destiny. So if you have an air sign, sun, moon, or rising, this is for you when you see it, essentially. Of course, if you're here live, it's for you now. If you're watching on YouTube later, it's for you when you see it. So first message I got for the air signs, they just said turnaround, finally. A lot is going to start turning around for you financially even. They gave me the word financially. They said if you've been waiting for a lot to turn around, it's going to start. They're almost, like those movies where there's like just some guy who's like a leader of a pack, and he's just like the time of the so-and-so is here, and then like the whole army cheers or something. They're almost saying that, but for the air signs, it's a positive message. They're like, the time of the air signs is here. So they're also showing me rapid change. They're showing me like river rapids and like a river rapid boat, you know, going along. So what's the highest and best way for me to bring through the rest of this message here? 1, it's your time for change. 2, I feel like it's going to be your time. They're giving me the month of December as well. I feel like December is going to be good for you. They're saying December is going to be good for you. But I'd say it's your time, or it will be your time soon for turnarounds, for change. They're also giving me the word like start. If you're worried about starting something, like just start. I guess that's not again. That came through for the earth signs, but for the air signs as well. If you're worried about starting something, just start, is something they're saying. Next message, kind of everyone has been getting this message of new beginnings, at least for today with this live. They said new beginning. This September is going to be a lot of new beginnings, and if you're seeing this in the future after September, it's going to be in the next 3 months or so from when you're seeing it, so it's time for new. But I was just getting for air signs a lot of new beginnings in September, interestingly enough, so we'll see what shows up for you on that one. And if it doesn't happen in September, give yourself a few months, is what they said. But it's coming. Like a lot of new leaves is what they're saying. Next message here. Is there more on new beginning here? There's also saying like trust yourself that you'll be able to handle new and not mess it up. If you're someone who needs to hear that and you're worried about messing something new up or just messing something up in general, whether it's a relationship or a job or anything, I feel like you're going to succeed if that's you who's worried about that. I don't know if that was for all of you, but that's for those of you who felt like that. Next message I have here, they said appreciation. Take a second to write everything you appreciate and everything that you want. Then ask to let go of everything holding you back from that and see what shifts. So almost like a gratitude or appreciation journal meets manifestation. Just recommendation for you right now. Just write down what you want, write down what you appreciate, then ask that anything not allowing that to show up for you is removed for the highest good. I feel like that would be just a helpful exercise for you right now. I'll mention it as well. It's something that I got from a channeler named Lee Harris, who I fully recommend you check out if it feels resonant or good to you. But one exercise, which is different than this one that I just got here, that he recommends is like, okay, what are like 5 things you are ready to let go of? And what are 5 things you're ready to bring in? And it's kind of just like, what do you want to release? And like, what do you want to manifest essentially? And it's like, you're making space for what you're manifesting. You don't have to line it up like we're like, oh, I'm going to let go of this person so I can have that person. Or you don't have to make it like specific like that, but like maybe you're ready to let go of fear, but you're ready to bring in more income. And so like, that's what you would put. And it makes space for the new, the manifestations to come in, and then like you're kind of releasing and making space and then bringing in new at the same time. So maybe that's something you want to try in addition to this as well. They want me to bring in the crystal, not literally bring in the energy of the crystal obsidian, but they're showing me obsidian. They're giving me the word obsidian. So what's the message with obsidian? Fully finesse, good. They're just showing like negativity being reflected. So if you're worried about coming against a lot of negativity, I feel like that issue is going away. Or that's the negativity is going to start to be like reflected more, where you're not as affected or barraged by like an avalanche of negativity, whether it's from your mother, if that's your specific example, or just from like a boss or anyone. Like I'm just getting you're more protected from negativity is something I'm getting, or you will be soon. And maybe that's a good crystal for you to carry on your person. Some of you, just black obsidian, or of course black tourmaline too, but they were showing obsidian with this one as well. So anything else here? They are also showing me a visual of like you know how obsidian is just, it can be really sharp. You can use it to make really sharp tools. They're showing like an obsidian knife, but it's like cutting through this like canvas. Weirdly enough, we're going a little bit deeper than that. They're showing it cutting through the fabric of space-time and opening. So I just want to make sure I'm getting this full message before I open my mouth here. What's the message? Fully fast, good to hear. It's like they're showing you like opening up this not a portal, but like this fabric of space-time, and you're receiving this like gift essentially, or like something good. And they're just saying like a lot more is possible than you realize as far as how you can change your reality or like bring things in. So Don't doubt your ability to manifest or like change your reality. Like things can change on a dime sometimes. So many of you, again, coming up on some rapid changes. Next message I have, is there anything more on that obsidian knife thing? Hopefully that's good. You're also giving this message like time isn't an issue. So let me see what the message is on that. For some reason, if you were worried about time, they're saying like time is working in your favor, not against you. Some of you might think things are taking a long time. I'm getting like they're actually kind of not. It just seems like it. In the grand scheme of things, things are going to manifest really quickly is something I'm hearing as well for anyone who needs to hear that. So we're going to move to the next message here. They showed me a bulldozer. They said a lot is being bulldozed for you. A path is being made clear. It kind of makes sense with like the new beginnings and everything. If things have been holding you back from your path, they won't anymore. A lot of destruction may be developing for you. However, this is leading you to your best path. Let things be destroyed. By the time it's done, a perfect path will be unveiled. I feel like the air signs... Never mind, they don't want me to get into that. They just want me to focus on what's highest for me to bring through for you right now here. If there is any destruction, I feel like it's developmental. It's kind of like maybe there's an old rickety building that's like in the way of the path that's for you. So it's like, it's time for that rickety building to go. Like it's lived its life, it's served its purpose. You need that new path forged. So any destruction I feel like is like actually developmental for you guys, but I feel like otherwise that message is pretty self-explanatory, like just a path being constructed for you, made clear for you, things in the way of that being destroyed. So next message here, they show me, you know those tractors and they have like that digging tool, and I think it's called like a backhoe, which sounds a lot more scandalous than it really is. They just said, digging deep, it's time to unearth the trauma that's been holding you back. You are worthy of healing and feeling whole and complete. If you are willing to let go of the trauma, it's time to do that. You are worthy of wholeness. So not all of you might resonate with this as deeply as others. But if you've gone through some type of deep trauma, it's time to dig into that and unearth that and like release that. Because I feel like that's what's been sticking you for most of you listening. I realize this might not cover every single one of you, this specific message, but that's what I'm hearing for most of you, like maybe even 99%. So if you're willing to dig into and like heal trauma, like book a healing session with someone that you feel comfortable with and you respect, do something about it is what I'd say. Take a yoga class and see if you're able to move some of that out of your body. There's many different ways to approach healing, and each of you is going to get the right combination of methods and techniques, tools to tackle that essentially. But once you get that, they're almost showing it like a, don't take this too literally, but they're almost showing it like a lock code, like, you know, like at the gym lockers, you have like the little like codes or whatever. Once you get the right code dialed in, it's pretty easy to like release it is what I'm hearing. So you just need the right combination for you to unlock, unearth, heal, release your trauma. And that's what a lot of you are headed towards right now. That's what I'm hearing. So time to dig deep and heal that, I'd say. If that's just going to help you. Next message here, if you're ready. If you don't feel like you're ready, that's okay. No pressure. Next message, they said peace. Peace has just been a message that's, they don't like me when I start to say that, so I'm sorry. Peace, it's time to invite in peace, sit with it, cultivate space for it. Everything you want is on the other side of more peace. I want to say that again. Everything you want is on the other side of more peace. The recommendation they had for starting to bring it about, carve out 10 minutes a day for peace, and it will start to manifest. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in turmoil for 10 minutes the first few times you try to sit in peace. The point is to hold space for it until it comes in and births, and it will. So that could be a meditation for peace. That could be like, I'm just going to take 10 minutes at the end or the beginning of my day for peace with my tea. And that's what you could even write it in on your phone, like with a little alert, like 10 minutes for peace. And like, that's your way of manifesting it and setting the intention that you're holding space for peace in your life. But I really, for some reason, I really like this quote, like for you guys, everything you want is on the other side of more peace. Because there's a lot of other like frequencies in peace, like there's joy. The way I got it from my guide is like higher frequencies beget more frequencies. The way I've heard it from other people is like those frequencies are in each other. Like peace is in joy, joy is in peace. Gratitude peace can be in gratitude. Like those higher states can really beget each other more. So if you're cultivating peace, you're actually cultivating a lot more than just peace, is something they're saying as well. And what you're manifesting with that peace is the key and the goal of this exercise that they're trying to present to you as a possibility to cultivate more peace. So the next message they gave me, I'm a little bit torn on this one. So give me 1 second just to really get what they want me to say fully for that good here. So this is specific for some of you, not all of you. Some of you are meant to be mediums. That's just like a message they want to bring in for some of you who are tuning in, like, connecting with the dead, pass on loved ones, bringing through messages. Some of you are meant for that. If that's like a dream of yours, I know there's like, I have one person I've met who like, that's like their thing they want to go towards, is they want to be a medium. I don't know if you're tuning in on this one, but if maybe some of you other ones are like this too, but if you want that, don't give up on that, is something they're saying. For others of you, the rest of this message, like they said, the time to connect is now. Do anything to connect and you'll connect more. Trust yourself. By connect, I mean like connect to source. I guess you could say, to the other side, that's for the highest good for you to connect with. Because like not all of you are meant to be mediums. I feel like a lot of you can have those gifts in addition to what you're meant to be and do, is something I'm hearing, if you want that, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But one thing I would try to go for regardless is more connection, like with source, with your angels or spirit guides, with whatever the highest good is for you to connect with on the other side, if I can get those words out properly. It's just a good time to seek connection and connecting, whether it's you're carving an additional 10 minutes out in your day for connection, you're meditating for connection, or doing some practicing automatic writing if you're into that, where you're just like, okay, what do my spirit guides want to tell me? And you're just sitting and see what shows up for you. If you're there and you feel like you can do that, or you want to try that, fully for that is good. And if you do want to try that, just set the intention to connect with the highest and best for you to connect with, to bring through the highest and most fully accurate information, to channel through, what's pure of the true highest light and fully for that is good for you to channel. Additional tips, you can ask that your ego is stepped out of the way, especially if you're newer, and you just ask to receive what's highest and best for you to receive and practice. And they want me to get into it, so I'll get into it as a quick side message. Like one thing I've heard that I think is really helpful to consider if you're newer to channeling is if you get messages and they're just like, oh, you are loved and the universe loves you, and there's so much you can be grateful for. And if like it starts out and you get really simple messages and you're like, well, this is boring. One thing I've heard, again, from a channeler named Lee Harris that I think is important to consider is like, you're being calibrated to love, you're being calibrated to your channeling. So if you keep going with it after you get to that phase, you're gonna start to get more information besides that as you get more calibrated and have that connection honed in and more, I guess, practiced. I don't know if the practice is the right word, but that's just a quick tip for anyone tuning in who was curious about that, I guess, that they wanted me to jump into. Next message here, they showed me autumn leaves. They said, if anything is crumbling in your life, please let it crumble. If every tree always kept its leaves, it might grow stagnant. Trees are supposed to change and go through their cycle with the weather, I guess, except for evergreen trees. Trust that your life is going through its own cycles now too. Not every tree is meant to keep its leaves. So again, don't freak out if something crumbles, if something changes. Your life is going through cycles. You're going through cycles, not bad cycles necessarily. It's just kind of important that you let it develop and happen. And they're also like giving this example, like it would be a lot if you every autumn went outside and started to freak out every time the trees lost their leaves, because you're like, oh my God, they're gone. And then like, because you'd have to go through that every single year. So, so why are they having me say that to you? They're saying like, try to view your life like that. Like if you freak out every time something changes, you're going to have a long life is kind of something they're saying. But if you take it as, if you're willing to view it as a cycle, if there's certain things that are cycles for you or the natural progression and evolution of your life, it's going to be a lot easier because there's going to be more acceptance. So it's like the natural way is something I'm hearing. So I feel like if certain things crumble for you, it's like the natural way, a weird message. That's it for the air signs. There might be one more message they want me to bring through that I didn't write down ahead of time. So what is that fully nice good here? Dragon wants to show up for you guys too. And this dragon is like silver. And this dragon brings blessings. Like he's bringing rubies, he's bringing gold, he's bringing like these sapphires and these gemstones. But there's also this skull. Like he brings a skull and like sets it on this pile. And they're giving me this message, and don't take this literally. Let me explain before you take this literally. They're like, death leads to what you want. And it's not you dying. It's not someone else in your life dying. It's like the transformational death is the way you could look at it. Like if you're willing to go through metaphorical deaths, you're going to get what you want. So I'd say like peace, on the other side of peace is everything you want. On the other side of transformation is everything you want. So be willing to metaphorically die in life, so to speak. Like, what's an example that would make sense and help you guys understand this better if you need it? Maybe you've always been a construction worker and you're like, construction is all I've known for 20 years. All I do is take this jackhammer and hit concrete, and that's not all you're good for, obviously, but that's maybe that's your mindset. But then all of a sudden, like, you get this inkling that you want to write and do poetry and become a writer, and you're like so afraid to go through this metaphorical death of like being a construction worker and like trying something new or trying to be something else because construction is all you've known, which is probably not true. But it's like it's time to go through that metaphorical death, so to speak, especially if you have dreams you want to get to. So I feel like I just said that in multiple ways. They didn't want me to say it. I'm sorry. But that's it for this reading. Before I run my mouth too much, they're saying. So anything else for the air signs? Just know you're transforming. We're going to move to the water signs, sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to drink water. I'm not trying to drag you intentionally. They're just trying to help you out. So air signs are done for today, sort of. So we're going to do the water signs, sun, moon, and rising. It's for you when you see it. So if you're watching now, obviously it's for you now. If you're watching in the future on YouTube, it's for you when you see it. So sun, moon, and rising water signs. They're starting to sing that Christmas song. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I feel like you guys are catching a break before I even get into like what I channeled down ahead of time. It's like time for you to catch a break. It's time for you to like stop worrying is something I'm getting as well. So a lot of just like, not like breaks as in like things breaking down, but breaks as in like you're catching a break. For some of you, it's like finally, or even for most of you, it's like finally kind of coming in. Even in like the next year or so is what I'm getting. It's like you're catching your breaks. For some of you, I'm a little iffy on that message, so I'm not going to say that one quite yet. But know if like things have been hard on you, they're not going to be quite as hard on you. It's like it's time for you to catch your breaks in life, in like changes happening around you, and like things finally going your way, I guess you could say. And for some of you, things have been going your way for a while. Maybe it's been a little bit veiled that it's been going your way. Like there's still like some challenge that makes it difficult to see that, etc. But you're going to start to catch your breaks in a way that's very in your face is what I'm getting as well. So now they want me to read. The first message that came through for you was truth. And it's just a reminder, this has been coming through a little bit lately, to tell the truth, to be honest, to let things shift. The more you are honest with yourself, the better things get, whether it's about a relationship or anything. Honesty is key. A lot of truth is coming your way. So a lot of truth unearthing. And if you're willing to like just, because they're showing this truth unearthing and like you're like sitting there with this truth you dug up or was unearthed somehow. And it's like the more you're willing to look at it and like be okay with it, the more your trajectory gets shifted in a better way. Because they're showing this like trajectory and it just looks like this path and it looks like disjointed. There's like haunted woods on either side. It's like leading to this weird haunted mansion and it's like not the best path. And maybe this might not be for all of you, but some of you might be torn between like 3 paths right now. And like one of them is like disjointed and looks to the haunted mansion, but it like looks like there might be treasure inside and it's for some reason it's like calling to you. But the more you're just kind of sitting with the truth and being honest with yourself, the more you realize there's really only one path, and they're showing this path as a golden path. It's actual gold. It's not like fool's gold or anything like that. And it's not the weird haunted mansion path. So it's like the more you're just truthful with yourself, the more your trajectory shifts for the better is what I'm getting for anyone who needs to hear that. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I would just sit and meditate on it and just ask for truth and see what gets unveiled. And you'll know where to go is what I'm getting as well. You also have a lot of divine direction. So I feel like the second you try to step on the wrong path, the angels step in and like, oh no, we're here. And then they kind of like push you over to the new path, but like you don't necessarily see the new path yet. It's like maybe covered by some overgrowth in this visual they're showing me. So, but the more you sit with the truth, the more it's unveiled, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. I would just meditate on truth and see what shows up, honestly. And know the vast majority of you are going to take the right path. And if you don't, you'll be redirected to the right path. So I wouldn't worry overly much about this anyways. Next message here, is there more on that? They're showing me a jungle, interestingly enough. So what's this message with the jungle? They're giving me the word confusion with this jungle. So what's the message with jungle and confusion? I feel like you're either overcoming confusion or there's no more confusion is something I'm getting for the water signs. I feel like I've said that in the past. Sometimes for you guys specifically even. But I would just know it's coming. If you feel like you've been hacking away at the jungle of confusion, it's time to leave that behind. Like you don't belong in the jungle. You don't belong stuck in confusion. And some of you, if not most of you, are getting like an airlift out of it. Like they're showing this like helicopter with angels piloting it. And then like they're lowering down like a rope or a net for you to jump into, and they airlift you to safety and to your destination. So it's time for confusion to end is what they're showing me. And okay, next message I have for you here. I think this is just for everyone right now. It's just up in the air. Not up in the air, but it's in the air for everyone. They said, a new beginning. You are headed towards a very new beginning. There are key shifts happening, bringing you towards your key future destiny and a lot of great things. Just move forward and you got this. So I feel like that's really self-explanatory. I just feel like right now is a time of new beginnings for almost everyone here. A lot of new leaves, a lot of new chapters, as I kind of said earlier in the live, if you were here for that. Next message, I think peace is just a theme for everyone right now. They said peace, a lot of peace coming in for you. They also gave me the words destined for peace. So I'd say that peace is coming in for you. You're destined for it. I guess that's just coming in for almost everybody. Next message here, abundance. They said, welcome abundance and treat it like a friend that you really care about. Ask it what it needs. Ask it how you can water it like a garden. Treat it like someone you care about. See what happens. They're showing me this message. Like some people, maybe even you, see abundance as like this thing. And it's like maybe someone holding a baby for the first time without training. And you're like, what do I do with this thing? Like they're showing it like this odd contraption and you're like not sure how to hold it or what to do with it. But for some reason, this recommendation is like maybe it's even like an intuitive exercise you could do, or like a meditation, like treating abundance with a friend and meeting up with it and talking to it and seeing like what it tells you. I guess that would be like a shamanic exercise in a sense. And just seeing like what it says, what it wants to bring you, like what it needs. They're like, if you are willing to treat abundance like a garden, like a friend, you're going to see a lot more of it, as opposed to like this random amorphous thing that is not for you, or that other people have, or that you can't have, etc. What will it take for you to befriend abundance is the question I hear. So that's a different way of viewing it, but I think that exercise could be helpful, or that way of approaching it could be helpful. And I'll say it, for me, I know some of you guys can do this. I know some of you are newer and you wouldn't know where to begin, but for me, what I've encountered is I can, in a sense, talk to anything. So like I can talk to my spirit guides, I can talk to the angels, I can talk to source, I can talk to deities, I can talk to the wall. I could talk to my body or body parts. I can talk to a house. I could talk to the consciousness of money, was an interesting one I discovered. You could talk to trees. So you could probably talk to, I could talk to abundance. And some of you can do that too, where you talk to abundance and hear back, much like you're talking to source. Would it be, what else would be best for me to say about this? If you think of consciousness as everything, or source is everything. Source can speak through everything. You can talk to source through anything. You can get highest aligned, messages that are of highest infinite intelligence, highest infinite wisdom through everything. If you take that stance is something I'm hearing, where it's like, because for me, I guess I'll get into it because they're saying to get into it, but like if I talk to a house and I talk to my guides, I'll get the same message, maybe in a slightly different way, but I'll get the same, like, you know, aligned, accurate message. So maybe try talking to abundance if you're there and you can try that. And I know that's not for everybody, that specific advice, but I don't know. Next message I have here, Cherry. They said renewal and growth. If you feel like you're getting a second chance, take it. This is not a time to say no to offers and opportunities, especially if you are getting a yes intuitively or it feels right and light to you, even if you don't want to do it. Though I think most of you will. They said, trust your gut and intuition. A lot of new opportunity will present itself. You are just scratching the surface. So if you feel like there's been a lot of new coming your way, you're just scratching the surface is what I'm getting for the water signs, sun, moon, and rising. I'm also getting the words like it's time for abundance. It's like it's time for you to receive. So don't say no to the abundance coming your way or the opportunities and offers coming your way, essentially, too, is what I'm hearing. I want to see if there's more about renewal and growth as well with Cherry, so if that's good here. I'm getting the words, this is your second chance. So if you feel like you're getting a new opportunity to do something or go back to something, take it, is what they're saying. Don't say no to your second chance, whatever it is for you. For most of you, it's job related, honestly, or work related or career related. For some of you, it's like a person, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. You'll know what to do. Next message here, orange, like the fruit, an orange tree. But usually when they show me an orange, that turns into, you know, it links to the sacral chakra, which is associated with the color orange, and that has to do with your emotional state. So here's the message. A balance to emotional state. Do anything you can to balance. Drink tea, sit with yourself, ask for balance, orange crystals. Balance is key. Take time to balance after emotional episodes if you have them. The more you are balancing your emotional bodies, the better things are going to be. Take time to look after your emotions. It is important you are here, and it is important that you are looking after you. So, but it is important you are here. It's like it's important that you are here on Earth. I'm kind of having deja vu as I say that. Maybe I said something similar in a past life. It is important that you are looking after yourself as well. Besides that, I want to just take a second to reiterate one of the messages, like, the more you are balancing your emotional bodies, the better things are going to be. So I would do self-soothing. I would do what you need to do at the start and end of the day to set yourself up for emotional success is what I'm hearing, whether that's meditating or mantras or setting your intentions or yoga or whatever your thing is. It could be multiple things. It could be a different thing each day if you have a lot of different things you can do. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I feel like that would be one key to help make things better for yourself. And okay, they don't want to say what I was about to say. Next message here, is there more with the orange and the orange tree here? I also get, like, if you get grounded, emotions will be easier. I think grounding is just one of the passive themes. Sorry, they didn't like that I said passive. One of the themes for this live, you could say. Next message here, ships. They said ships, your ships will come. If you've been waiting on ships to come in, they will come. You are meant to succeed. There you go, water signs. Trust your gut and instinct. Now is the time to take action. Ships are coming. So kind of similar to the earth signs a little bit, but it's for the water signs. It's a good time for action and your ships are coming in. You are meant to succeed. I love all of that. I'm also getting this message like the waters won't be choppy. I think some of you are used to things being choppy as you like move towards success or like work towards things or work through things. I don't think it's gonna be like that this time is something I'm getting. Also, like they're showing this side message. Let me see what they want me to say about this if that's good. They're saying like don't get distracted because they're showing like that concept of, they want me to be gentle with this message, so give me 1 second so I can be gentle with this message here. What's the message? Fully for the highest good. Don't get too distracted right now. There might be a few things that would distract you and veer you off course or cause you to go in a direction you don't want to go. They really want you to keep your eyes on the prize, on your dreams, your aspirations. It's important that you're moving towards your North Star, whatever that is. So if you want to be a pop singer, I'd be practicing your songwriting, your singing your music every day as an example. Just make sure you're not being pulled off course by other people, by other people's ideas for you. Know what's for you and stick with it and move towards that, essentially. Hopefully that's helpful for you to hear because they were showing me like sirens, like, you know, like the sirens of old, ye olden days when people in the 1400s or whatever would, or maybe earlier or later, I don't know, would be like, talk about this tale of like sirens who would like lead sailors to shipwreck or something like that. So don't do that. don't get led astray. I don't think you will. I'm getting you won't, but it's just something to be mindful of right now, so you don't like miss out on what's for you. And many of you aren't even going to have an issue with it, which is good. So, and you'll know what the distractions are. I think it's going to be pretty obvious. Next message here, they show me bell peppers, like a farmer farming bell peppers, and like there's this tractor and a wagon, and this like wagon was filled with like bell peppers. They said many colors was one of the things they said, and they said you might be getting a lot more than you expected coming your way. You might have been expecting one flavor or color of bell pepper metaphorically, but then you get 20. So you might be expecting one opportunity, but then you get like 5. So trust that you will know what to choose with all of this opportunity. It's a time of abundance. Roll with it. So I like that message for you guys. But if more than what you were going for shows up, just go with what feels best and lightest and most fulfilling. And what feels like your path, and you'll be shown the way as well. And some of you will be able to receive all of it. You don't have to stick with just 1 or 2 of the 20 bell peppers or whatever. So next message I have here, is there more with that? They want me to go back to it. Because they're putting my eyes or my attention to the tractor in this visual. So what's up with the tractor here with this farmer? Can I get the message, please? What they're showing me is a message with the tractor. Again, keep working for the water sign, sun, moon, and rising. So like this tractor is continually working. The farmer's continually working to get his bell peppers. They're just saying like, don't stop working. It's like a weird message they're giving me with that tractor. So abundance is coming, but keep working, essentially. Next message, they showed me an elephant. Elephants always gotta show up. They said, not always. I don't want to put that on elephant here. They just said, give thanks, comma, for your obstacles are being removed. Actually, no, I said that wrong. They said, give thanks for your obstacles being removed. It's a time to move forward. So I'd say either obstacles already were removed or, it's just time to move forward soon. So anything more on that? Fully for that is good here. They're saying like, don't worry about obstacles, just move forward. I feel like obstacles, if there are any right now, are actually an illusion. You can move right past it. They are showing me a train as well. That's been like showing up in my intuitive visuals lately. So what's up with the train here for you guys here? They just really want to reiterate the message because they're showing me this train and then they're showing like this, it almost looks like a zoo train. Like there's a giraffe and an elephant and these animals on this train. But the message I'm getting, which seems unrelated, can I get the message again? I forgot it. Sorry. It was a reiteration of an earlier message. Okay, can I get a different message then? I think it was just another, if I remember correctly, it was like, don't say no to opportunity was pretty much what they were saying. If I'm not rehearing it, I'm just not supposed to say it right now, I guess. But that's it. There might be one more message for the water signs, sun, moon, and rising here. If that's good. They actually are showing me the sun, but they're showing a beach. You're laying on a beach towel. There's an umbrella. It's kind of tropical, but it's almost like an island, but the island looks deserted in this intuitive visual. And the message is, no matter what you think your prospects are, the sun is coming. If you think all you're going to get is a pile of sand, there's going to be gold in that sand, metaphorically speaking. If you think all you're going to get is more of the same, there's going to be a lot of difference in that quote unquote same is what they're like. There's going to be something different or better in it, essentially. Also a lot more color coming into your life if things have been like dull or gray or just not as colorful as you'd like. But the sun is coming is what I'm hearing for the water signs for like the next month is what I'm getting. And it doesn't mean it's going away. I feel like a lot of it's going to stay. For some of you, there might be some challenges that go along with the sun where it feels like half of a sun, but eventually it turns into the whole sun is something I'm getting as well for about half of you listening to this. But that's it. They're saying that's it. So, okay, yeah, that's okay. They closed the computer, so that's it. So that's what I had for the water sign, sun, moon, and rising. I hope that all made sense and resonated and was helpful. So I think we're going to do a full channel mode message like we've been doing the past few lives. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. So fully for that is good. Yeah, they want me to do it. So thank you, water signs. Whoop. So time for the channel. So I'm just going to put this up here. Maybe I'll put it up right before I start. So for anyone new here, which I don't think is a lot of you, you guys are welcome. So I'm going to channel my spirit guides, the angels and source. The name my guides gave me for them, if you were curious, is the Angelic Collective of Zorbital. There was just a time a few years back where I was like, I wonder what the name of my guides are, because I was like channeling more. And they were like, you know, we don't really have names up here. You know that. I'm like, you're right. But then they came back and gave me a name anyways. And that's the name they gave me. So if you were wondering who I channel, it's a bunch of angels, it's source. And that's, I feel like there's more to that, but it's all for the highest good. It's all highest aligned, you know, fully for the highest good. So you don't need to worry about that. But they want me to put this up here. Boop. Boop. Cool. So thank you, Destiny. I will hydrate. Answer that question. Do you know what they look like? Not really. They want me to say it. Here's the thing about angels. They don't necessarily, well, let me see what they want me to say about it. They can take on whatever form is going to be what that person needs to see to understand its angels and to, I guess, to trust them is what I'm hearing as well, or to know what they're working with. So if that's like the biblical version of angels with like wheels with eyes, they'll show up as that. If that's, you know, just if that's light with wings, they'll show up as that. If it's like a weird white humanoid figure, then they're like, I'm an angel, that they'll show up as that. So I don't really get they have a set appearance necessarily. And if you think of it as like everything's energy and they're more energy based, why would they? If that makes sense. Their like appearance is kind of a different thing up here is the message I also get about that. So do I know what they look like? I don't think I have like a set visual, if that makes sense. And they're saying that's the perfect answer. So that's what I'll go with. Oh, thank you so much, Andy Pandy. I think that was Andy Pandy Pie. I appreciate it. So, okay. So, when we are listening for our guides, is the voice different or is it our own voice? It's different. For you, it'll be different too. For me, it's different. It comes from a different place than like my thoughts, if that makes sense. Like in my energy field, it's like above me, or I'll feel the message come through my crown chakra like that. It's a lot of, different ways it shows up for me. And a lot of times I'm getting intuitive visuals along with the words or clairaudient messages, if you will. So, but the voices sound different than my own voice, sometimes drastically, and different guides will tend to have different voices. Like if I talk to Ganesha, the voice is different than if I talk to Thor, is different than if I talk to the angels. And, you know, the dragons sound different than Source, sounds different than Archangel Michael. At the same time, it's like they are different, but it's all one. Try to figure that one out. I'll try to sit with them and get a better way to say that, because I feel like I get all like, woo, all like around in circles every time I try to talk about that. Okay, they want to channel though, so I'm gonna step out of the way. So give me 1 second. I'm probably gonna start coughing, and then they'll start talking through me, and you'll know when that happens. And then can I get a theme for what this one is about? I'm getting like peace and clarity, but we'll see where they want to take this conversation. I'm not gonna limit it. So fully for the highest good, I'm gonna step out of the way, see what my spirit guides, the angels and source want to say. Fully for the highest good. They want me to say this as well. Channeling the words are a part of it, like what they say. It's also the energetic transmission, you know, from source, from your highest self, that comes along with the channeling. That does, you could say it's kind of like energy work. Maybe it's its own thing, but that is a part of the channeling experience as well. So fully for that is good. Give me 1 second and we'll jump into it. welcome to this day or evening if you are watching in the evening. And it is time for clarity and peace in your collective. For there's been so much turmoil, especially in the minds of many of you on Earth. And even some of you, a lot of your minds have been racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour trying to find peace, trying to find clarity. But it is coming. Sit with your soul and clarity will come. We will say that again. Sit with your soul and clarity will come. Sit with your hearts. Sit with your being. The mind is not the way to clarity. For some of you, it's an active hindrance. You're all up in your thoughts. You're all up in what this person said and that person said and that spiritual person and teacher said. We want you to let go of that. And we want you to connect to your own knowing. And where is your knowing? You are your knowing. Your knowing is in your heart. Your knowing is your connection to source and what source can tell you. Your knowing is in your intuition. Your knowing is in your energy sensitivity. Your knowing is in every way you can be intuitive. And that is what this message is about. What intuition can do for you, how to connect with your intuition. And the energetic transmission is fully for thy good about connecting to your intuition, you connecting to your intuition, to your third eye, to your channeling for some, because that is where clarity comes from. Clarity comes from a moment of knowing, a moment of recognition of truth. And that is why we say, if you will sit with your soul, you will have clarity. And let us do an exercise, if you are willing, and we'll give you a minute to prepare. You're going to sit with your soul. You're going to see what comes to you. And if nothing comes to you, you can try this in a week and see if anything does come to you. Because a lot of this is about the practice of connecting when you are just starting out. When you are practicing connecting, you're getting in the frequency of connecting. When you're showing up over and over again for these spiritual experiences, they can begin to happen because you're holding space for them. You're not just wishing and eating potato chips on the couch, as we like to say, though there's nothing wrong with that. And some of you can manifest by doing that. We will not limit you. Some of you could just wish for something and eat potato chips all day and it would show up on your doorstep tomorrow. Not all of you. Not at this time. And manifestation is speeding up where it will be easier to do things like that. But right now, holding space for things and taking action can also be key, and are key for many of you. So let us take a moment to hold space for you to connect with your soul and see what you get. So take a second to breathe. You can take a deep breath in, connect with your breath. You can take a deep breath out. And you can say, if it resonates for you, I invite in my soul. I sit with my soul, fully for the highest good. And take a second to, with your energy sensitivity, see what you feel. Do you feel your soul? Do you feel a white light? Do you see a white light in your intuitive visuals or something akin to that? And we will give you an additional thing to grasp onto with this exercise. Besides just that feeling. Envision a white light all around you. And we realize there are many different exercises that could utilize a white light all around you. So in this white light all around you, you can visualize yourself writing the word soul on it. And then let that light take whatever color it will. And see yourself surrounded by your soul, whether it's see-through, whether it's red, multicolored, any color. Let your soul take on the appearance it wants to for you. But know that you are surrounded by it. It is in you, it is around you, it is you. It is your connection to source. And your soul is your connection to source. Many of you get confused and think your connection to source is separate from you, but it is you, it's a part of you. And that's why we say you are your knowing is you. Source is everything, source knows everything. And you can connect with that knowing through your soul, through what you are, through your connection to source. And do not get confused by our words. If they do not make sense, just let it go. Go with the understanding that works. Or let go and know that you do not need to understand. You just need to sit with the intention of this exercise and let it do its work. Going back to the exercise, sit with that color, that light that's surrounding you, and simply sit in it. Put your awareness on it. Thank it. Ask it to show you anything it wants to show you. This could show up energetically as a claircognizant knowing, as a clairsentient knowing, as a clairaudient message, as a intuitive visual, a clairvoyant message. Just sit with it. And know that as you do this exercise, regardless of your outcomes, regardless of what you hear or don't hear, you're holding space for your soul and bringing it in more strongly. So give yourself a minute to sit with that light. See what it tells you. Sit with the energy. Now ask it to be with you today and forever onwards. Should it be in the highest good? Ask it to be with you every day. You are calling your soul into your life. You are calling your soul into you more. You are calling yourself to be soul-led. You are manifesting your soul being with you more. Ask your soul to show you anything you need to see in your life outside of this exercise. And see what shows up for you. Whether it's a direct message right now, a sign or synchronicity after this exercise, something someone comes up and tells you. You are going to be getting more clarity from your soul. And you are all of it. Source is everything. And with that knowing, you can trust that a message that comes from outside of you, that resonates, that feels right, is a message from you. And of course, there are lessons out there. There are people who, for lack of a better word, aren't there yet. They may say something inaccurate or not true to your reality, something that doesn't relate. Don't worry about that. We are seeking messages that resonate in this scenario, or rather you are. Pay attention to the magical moments and the synchronicities that will steer your way. So we are calling your soul in to ramp up synchronicity for you. Ramp up divine guidance. And as you are more soul-led, as you have that clarity, more peace can come in because you will know you are guided. You will know things are taken care of. You will know your soul is with you. And you will have more truth. And truth leads to clarity. And some of you might be thinking that's obvious. Truth leads to peace. Even if it is disruptive at first, or destructive. It always leads to peace and clarity long term, and to the right path. So invite in peace with your soul. This exercise is now complete. You can let go of it. You can thank your soul. You can thank your connection to Source. And trust that you have made strides this day, even if it was small, if you participated. And you can do that exercise anytime on your own. Just imagine the light of your soul around you, Let it take whatever shape or form it will. Let it tell you what it will. You are holding space to become more soul-led. And as you hold space for things, they can show up. It's like reserving a seat at a table for a family member or loved one. This one is for Bob. You can't sit here. This one's for my soul. So take that message and run with it. What can you create in your life with a more soul-led experience? What becomes possible for you as you become more soul-led? You become more who you are as you are more soul-led. And that is why we try to give you this exercise today. That and multiple reasons. But there is something else we want to talk about as well. Outside of this exercise, clarity is on a rise for everyone. And some of the truths that will surface will be uncomfortable for many, whether in the world around you and your personal lives, and that is okay. But if that truth cannot surface, how will it be possible to heal? And sometimes you do not need the truth to heal. Sometimes you can work that trauma out of your body and release it, and it's uncomfortable, it doesn't make sense, but then you're good. Sometimes. But sometimes the truth is exactly what's needed. And seeing as the collective is healing, is releasing the shadow, is releasing the darkness. And by the way, the darkness on earth is temporary. It's not going to last for centuries. You will see a lot of light in your lives. So much. So much light. But the truth is a key to healing the collective, and that's why you're seeing so much of it, or will soon, in your personal lives, in the world around you. So trust that the truth will surface. Trust that you will have the truth you need. And if you've been lacking clarity, it's coming. As you sit with your soul, as you call it in. None of you are meant to stay in, as your tarot card readers might call it, a moon period of confusion, of lacking clarity. The veil that you might find behind the High Priestess and the High Priestess tarot card is thinning and falling. And you'll be able to see through it like nothing is there. And that is the way the world is headed. Towards that sort of clarity, where nothing is hidden. And it might take years to get there, decades. But it is coming. And that is the world you are creating as you hone your intuition, your soul-led pathway, and you play the role you are meant to play. So we leave you with that message today. That message of connecting with your soul, that message of clarity, that message of truth, and this energetic transmission designed to bring in your soul more clearly and bring you to you. We are sending love and peace, and we are wishing you all the best, and may the highest and best transpire. But there's one more thing we wish to talk about. As we would write down in a reading, we would say the word butterfly. We would say, you are transforming so quickly. It is unimaginable. And you might just wake up one day a completely different person. Something shifted in the night or the day before, and something clicks, and you are totally different. Your energy is different. Your way of being is different. Let that transformation through you. Do not hold it back. It is one of the keys to your life being great, allowing that transformation. So allow yourself to shift, even if it's uncomfortable. Even if you're not sure what's coming or what you're birthing into, because it is grand. And the caterpillar might not realize it's turning into the butterfly when it dissolves into goo, to use that metaphor, which is apt, maybe overused. But it becomes something grand, and that's where you're headed. So let yourself be birthed into a new reality through the fire of transformation that's rolling through you and the collective as we speak. And that is the message. We are signing out for now. Take care. And may the highest and best transpire. Ooh, all right. All right. I hope that was really good for you guys. That channeled message. Heck yeah, I like that, Ascending Phoenix. They don't want me to stay on too much longer, if I'm being honest. You're welcome, Heather. Very helpful. Perfect. That was huge. Awesome. I'm glad. You're welcome. That one felt really good. That one felt very smooth. So I'm really appreciative of that, and I appreciate, hopefully, that this was awesome for you guys. So what was this? Brandon, a hand touched my left hand on my wrist, and then a pieces of Kleenex moved. They're saying, first of all, don't worry about that. That's not a bad thing. I'm getting its spirit trying to talk. And they're saying sometimes you need those signs so you believe, maybe, sometimes for you, Kelsey, but hopefully those messages help. I wouldn't freak out about that. I feel like it's your spirit guides. I know like some people might freak out and be like, oh, it's ghosts, but I don't think it's anything bad based on what I'm getting. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, you have an amazing rest of your day too. I felt a breeze on my right side. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna end it. I hope this has been good for you. I hope this has been helpful and did whatever was for the highest good for it to do for you. And I'm wishing you an amazing week and all the best. I will probably, I tend to do these weekly, so I'll see you guys next week, of course, probably around like 11:15 a.m. Central Time, maybe a bit before. But you guys take care, and I'll see you on another live or post, okay?